Good morning, friends. I go by the name of Host Eric, host of Talking with Famous People. And in a couple of hours, I have to go down the street and wait for the internet installation person for potentially as long as 4 hours. It seems like an awfully long time to be waiting for an internet installation person. But hopefully it won't be a 4 hour wait. I'm hopeful that when they say they'll arrive between 12 and 4, it'll be on the 12 side of things. Good morning, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Wonderful to see you. So, I really didn't get enough sleep last night. I got about 3 hours of sleep, which is at least 1 hour too few. You can get by on 4, but fewer than that is not really adequate. Nevertheless, I got up early. Hello, Kiara. How are you? Delightful to see you this morning. Namaste. Namaste. So, basically, until noon, I'm just killing time. Approximately, near noon, I'll have to go down the street as indicated. I've watched the day's cartoons already. I can't go back to bread at this point. Yeah. It's too close to noon to go back to bed. I tried to go back to bed when I got up like at 8:30 or whatever, but I just failed to go back to bed. Because why? Because I'm not that good at going back to bed. I'm by nature an early riser and a late setter. Early riser and a late setter. Are you more turgid or gravid? Turgid and gravid, in some sense, both mean swollen. Turgid means sort of plodding, overwrought. When I'm referring to prose, you could, a turgid river would be a slow-flowing, swollen river. Gravid is mostly used in just a few contexts. It's always followed with, gravid with something. It was like the moment was gravid with import, or the woman was gravid with child. So, it's a tricky question, right? Are you more turgid or gravid? Gravity challenged turducken on the half shell. I remember something about cows and catapults. No. Turgid and gravid both mean swollen. I see why you said gravity challenged turducken on the half shell. Because turgid and gravid sound like a mix of turducken and gravity. I remember something about cows and catapults. Don't ask your cows to operate your catapults if you want to win a war. I believe Confucius said that. Don't ask cows to operate catapults if you want to win a war. It's good advice. It served me well for many years. No, not one occasion have I asked cows to operate catapults for me. So, you might be asking yourself, is this my beautiful wife? Is this my beautiful house? No. That's my beautiful wife, and this is my beautiful house. But additionally, you might be asking yourself, Eric, why am I here? What are you going to do to entertain me this morning? Are you just making yourself coffee? Are we supposed to be entertained adequately by that? I don't know what you're supposed to be, okay? That's for you to figure out. What do I look like? A you knower? I don't know. God. So, anyway, I'm feeling a little punch drunk this morning from lack of sleep, I guess, in part. I'm feeling like a silly boy. And sometimes I do, I tend towards erring on the side of silly boy. I don't know if that's purposeful or not, but I have the spirit of boyhood in my heart, is what's important to note here. That's how I maintain my youthful effervescence. Hey, Caroline. You're having some coffee too, huh? Well, that's a good idea. It's a nice hot beverage for you to enjoy in the morning, or afternoon, or evening. And here's the key thing about coffee. I don't get people who drink black coffee. I just don't get it. Because the whole appeal of coffee is the delightful mixture between bitter and creamy. That's the whole point of coffee, is to have that delicious mixture of bitter and creamy. Black coffee is just all bitter. I mean, you might say, oh, well, if you get good coffee, it's not bitter. It's much more sophisticated than that or something. Okay, whatever. But you get my point, right? That coffee's not complete until you have plenty of creamer in it. Preferably a mix of different creamers. Starting with non-dairy creamer, of course, which is a necessary, because your very best cup of coffee is made with an overabundance of non-dairy creamer. I've had black coffee plenty of times, no sage. Every time I run out of creamer, I have black coffee. Carlos Paiva, you don't need to use cream. The best cup of coffee is made with non-dairy creamer. It's non-dairy, but that doesn't mean it's non-delicious. Feel the flavor. You only like it hot, black, and wet. Well, if you have dry coffee, you're doing it wrong. If you discover that your coffee is dry, I love beer. I don't drink alcohol anymore, but I drink non-alcoholic beer all the time. Sometimes I use bourbon as creamer. That's not creamer, okay? I'm not disputing that a nice Irish cup of coffee is delightful if you can hang with that kind of thing. I cannot. Dry coffee is like dry wine. Straight beans. Yeah, the grounds. You just put unwetted grounds in your mouth. Yeah, I just make coffee in my mouth, man. It's like, why bother with all this hot water shit? There's water in my mouth. It's called spit. I'll just make the coffee in there. I brought my glasses outside so I can see what you're saying. So yesterday, I don't know if any of you saw my video yesterday called Let's Push Water. But when I went and pushed water yesterday, and you got packaged like chewing tobacco, I put a pinch of coffee grounds between my cheek and gum. Instant coffee. You could eat instant coffee. That would be pretty disgusting. Yeah, Mr. Fox may have been referencing something else. But like, who was it? No Sage. Dry coffee is grounds for divorce. No Sage told me like, oh, you just have to try black coffee. I'm 52 years old. Do you really think I've never had black coffee before? Chand Babu, I am from California. Sunny, sensuous California. So anyway, I went up to the street yesterday and pushed water because there's this part of the driveway at the top by the mailbox where, because the street doesn't have any like gutters or curbs or anything. So the water just collects in this little scoop at the top of the driveway. Well, Rachel and I don't like that. The mailman doesn't like it either. So after that, I was like, okay, check the weather. We're not going to get any rain, it looks like, for a few days. I'm going to push that water out of that thing. It's like, done and done. All of a sudden, these clouds come in, it just starts pouring. It's completely full of water again. So my water push was in vain yesterday. But it's fine, it was still good exercise. I think we should probably go look at the horrible spot that collects water. Together at last for the first time. Together again at last for the first time, without stopping. All right. Look at this horrible spot. It's like Eric and Rachel's unwanted water feature. I don't want a little pond here every fucking time it rains. You know, enough already. I just pushed this water yesterday. I mean, it wasn't the same water, but, you know, it feels like the same water. I have trouble sometimes distinguishing between different waters. Like, hold on. This water in this puddle feels exactly the same as yesterday's water. Is this the same water? Questions I frequently ask myself. I think it might be the same water that I pushed yesterday. Well, I'm sorry, woodland friends, I'm all out of cutlets at the moment for you. You've eaten all of the sunflower seeds. I'll have to get more from the store. I'm just saying, I think those gallons of water up there are no good, Nicks. They're up to no good. They're stalking me, continuing to fill up that unwanted little pond up there every time it rains. Fill it with cigarette butts. It will soak up the water and provide padding for vehicles. That's a terrible, terrible idea, Side Cheek. I have thought about filling it with gravel. I might end up doing that, but instead, what I'd like to do, perhaps even, is you have to keep pushing. Can you replace the water? You know, I tried replacing the water with air yesterday, Chris Chapin, and it just came back because I think those gallons of water are stalking me. Minister of Infrastructure. It probably has some of the same molecules. You know, one thing I could tell is that the water yesterday and the water today had the same ratio of H's and O's in it. So I can guarantee you that. I can tell by feel. If I had a pet beaver it could build a dam for me. That's true. Unfortunately, I don't think that's the optimal solution. What I really want to do is I want to just concrete it flat, you know, so there's not a scoop there. I don't know why it's a scoop there at all. Fill it with hydrophobic paint and scare the water away. I mean, wouldn't the water have to be paint phobic? If I try to fill it with hydrophobic paint, won't the paint just run away? Get her a stuffed one. So I would like to just pave it flat, I think, you know? No, because the thing is, the driveway's super well designed. It goes down to a very effective big drain and then back up to the garage. There's no way it can flood the garage. It's just, it would have to be biblical amounts of flooding, you know? Because, yeah, I mean, the drainage on this house is just amazingly well thought out and put together. We've got 3 big drains in the low spots of the driveway, each of which tubes underground to release down on the side of the hill somewhere. All of our rain gutters even tube underground. So it's super flood proof. The only time I had any possible chance of flood problems was when last year it snowed so much snow, and over here on this drain got covered by all the snow. That drain right there, it was all covered up, but then it started raining like crazy, so all the water started gathering like here. I had to dig a path from here to the drain, but I could not remember where the drain was because we had just moved in here. So I kind of had to grope around with a snow shovel. It was a moment of huge triumph for me. You can see how it's like, it's everything slanted and sort of scooped towards the drains. There's another drain here. And then this is why I don't have to worry about the garage flooding. It comes down to this big drain here, but then up to the garage. You can't necessarily see the slopes very well in the camera. Where is the famous person? Oh, he's on his way. Today's famous person will be Jacob Garlington. If you've never heard of him, then you obviously don't know who's famous these days. He's a famous participant in important activities that everyone knows about. Jacob James Garlington is his full name. Is that a vanity plate? Yeah, that's a vanity plate. It only costs $50 a year to get that plate in California. The black plate with the yellow personalized TWFP. If you get the other kind of personalized plate, like a regular California license plate that's personalized, it costs like $500 a year or something. It's expensive. Hi, Casey White. How are you? Are you and Orange Cobra EU hanging out? Doing donuts? The county courthouse lawn? So anyway, the real question is, why is there that scoop at the top of the driveway that just collects water like that? I have no explanation for it. I'm not sure why. I mean, it's like they'd probably put that scoop there normally if there's a gutter in the street, right? Because then it says like, okay, well, it's coming down the gutter here. Now it goes down that scoop, so it can go to the next part of the gutter. That's normally why you'd have that kind of a scoop at the top of the driveway, I think. But we don't have any gutters on the street, so I don't know why that scoop is there. I'm doing pretty darn well, Casey White. I would say less than 1,000,000% perfect because I didn't get quite enough sleep last night. And I'm not super looking forward to going to the house down the street and waiting for their internet installation down there because they're going to arrive sometime between 12 and 4. Which, I get it. That's how they do things, but there's absolutely nothing to do there because there's no internet there yet. I mean, there's a lot of things to do there. I could, no, Winston's mom, that scoop at the top of the driveway is, has nothing to do with drainage at all. It's preventing the water from getting to the drain. It's this bad scoop. It's like, okay, like I was saying, if you live in like the suburbs or whatever, there's a gutter and a curb, right? And then you get to someone's driveway, the curb goes meow, and then you might have a little scoop like that in front of your driveway so that the gutter water keeps going down into the rest of the gutter. I'm talking about up on the street, right? Not rain gutters. Except we don't have any street gutters, so it just gathers in our scoop there at the top of the driveway. It's the same water I pushed yesterday. It came back last night because it rained. So apparently I'm a fadget. That's what Junior Tomo was telling me. And go to work fadget. I'm not sure what a fadget is, but I'm excited to be one. Tomo was a cop show on TV back when. So Winston's mom, do you get my point about how this has nothing to do with the drains or anything? It's a street thing. I could go back up the top of the driveway and show everybody again. Oh, well, thanks, Winston's mom. I thought Rachel was terrific last night. I thought I was, well, I'm mad at myself because I didn't do enough job. They told the architect the neighborhood was going for a Venice vibe over time. He said, say less. I don't think this house will end up underwater if that's the case. I was disappointed with my failure to attend to the levels correctly. Um, because I, in part because I had the guitar up too loud, but in part because the sound guy didn't monitor um, monitor our vocals enough back at us, right? So I couldn't hear myself very well, my singing very well, and it's something I should have made sure I had attended to properly before we started going. It really impacted me a lot on Gerald, actually, because I tried to adjust my vocals to so I could sing louder, so I could hear myself better, which meant like trying to pitch it up a register or something. And anyway, maybe somebody did say that after Gerald, but the song that actually went over best was was Gregory in the Skies. I could tell by reading the room that that was going over well. Like people were stopping their conversations to look at us and stuff. It is a cool place. I like it too. It's not a restaurant at all, Winston. In fact, it's such a bar that they have one non-alcoholic beverage there. It's Lagunitas hops water, which is not particularly good. Um, no, I'm not disputing that that's what happened with Gerald, but I'm saying, independent of that, my assessment from reading the room real time was that Gregory went over best. And I think it's because, and it's a lesson I'll try to take away from this. Um, well, thanks, Sarah Lamb. I appreciate the input there. And that is one that I will be playing. I didn't play it last night because it's not a song that Rachel and I practiced at all. I wanted to incorporate Rachel into as much of the set as possible. The only reason we did 4 songs was because the guy came up to me before we started playing and said, hey, you guys can do an extra song or two if you want because there aren't that many people on the list. So I said, all right, well, let's do it. I'll do an extra song. But the thing is, um, it's like in that context at open mic, you're going to get a lot of kind of aimless, folky, drawn out kind of stuff. So I'm best suited to play snappy, up tempo stuff. Um, People aren't in the attentional space to appreciate good songwriting because their patience has been strained already too much by people playing Grateful Dead covers and stuff. But yeah, we thank you for the input here, Lam. I appreciate your saying so, and I agree with you. So, um, the thing is, Rachel and I need to practice that one together. Gregory was second. The first song, Satchel Couple Goods, um, it was fine, but like I said, it didn't juxtapose against the, it wasn't the right spot, space, timing for someone appreciating that kind of songwriting in that environment. Cloudy in Los Angeles, I had issues that linked to the fact that I don't practice playing the guitar plugged in. So it's like playing the electric guitar plugged in, or playing that guitar plugged in versus playing it acoustic like I normally do when I'm playing on stream or whatever. The difference is in the dynamic sensitivity. So if I'm playing it as an unplugged in guitar and I go, jan, 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 I do it a certain amount heavier than I do other parts to get the dynamic I want, right? But when it's plugged in, you get more dynamic responsiveness with strength. So I struggled with the electrified levels of the guitar. And that's something I'm going to have to fix by practicing with it plugged in more often, you know? And the reason but one of the problems with that idea is one of the reasons why I don't practice with it plugged in very often is because when I'm most inclined to play the guitar or practice it, most likely Rachel's asleep. So, of course, we need to practice these things together so that won't be an issue. One thing that socionics says about mirage types, which is probably correct, is that they're mutually deactivating, which is a fancy way of saying they make each other lazy. Oh, really? No, I haven't watched it back at all. Because I wasn't completely happy with my performance in every aspect, I have zero desire to watch it. Well, sure, but I mean, the thing is, Rachel and I need to practice it together because we're working towards playing live more. So, you know, the first time we went to that open mic, I just played by myself. This time she joined me, and I think that uh, was what she needed to feel confident about doing that again going forward. And we're gonna play Merced again on this upcoming Tuesday, and then the Mariposa open mic on Wednesday, which is exciting. We're excited about that one because it's a monthly, so it's going to be more popping, you know. Yeah, health tube activated. But then on a longer term level, I'm currently thinking about, at least, not sure, but of putting up as They Might Be Giants once said in one of their songs, a rhythm section wanted, no others need apply for the rhythm section wanted. In other words, I would like to get a bassist and a drummer. We could practice here, you know, in the garage or whatever, and and you know, get a set together that's well polished, and then start booking some gigs in the Madera, Mariposa, Merced, Triple M County area. They call the Tri County area of Madera, Mariposa, and Merced. And you know, who knows? If we wanted to be crazy, if we got a drummer and a bassist to play with us, and we were all like, "Cool, this is this is working, this is sounding great. Then, you know what we could even do? We could go all the way to Fresno County to play a show, maybe. We could do that. That'd be great. The thing is, the challenge for me is I want a drummer and I want a bassist, but I want them to, well, I want the bassist in particular to either know better than I do what they should be doing or to follow my instructions. The drummer needs to know better than I do what they should be doing because I don't know very well what the drummer should be doing. I have trouble with that part of things. Like intuiting what the right drums for something is a challenge for me. I heard a guy from Madeira say there's a lot of meth heads there and hillbillies. Did you ever go? I really don't like doing covers, but have you ever heard "Together" by Mark DeMarco? No, I don't think so. There may be some of that in Madera County, but the way you spelled it there, that's not how they spell Madera County. So you might be talking about a different place. But Madera County has like Coarse Gold, Oakhurst, like up around Fish Camp. Fish Camp becomes Mariposa County again, but it's not a very, it doesn't seem like a very methy county at all, Madera. Mariposa least so. Merced is more urban, so maybe a little more so, but none of those counties are particularly urban counties. Madera, Mariposa, and Merced are all primarily like either mountains and forests or agriculture. Like Merced's mostly agriculture. Star Mike plays the drums. He's over in Oakhurst and he's 69. That'd be cool. You know, old musicians are, it's a hit and miss heuristic. All right. You'd like to say it's great to play with old musicians, they know what they're doing. Not necessarily. When I needed a drummer for the Talking with Trans People band, I reached out to a student I'd had in middle school who I was impressed by his drums when he was a middle schooler, and I hired him to play the drums for me. He was like 18 or something, or 19 when we did that. So, yeah, age is not a very reliable metric for quality, skill. You know, the thing is, like with drums, it's all about playing the exact right beat for what's going on. It's never about your having mad chops or whatever. With bass, I mean, what you want in a rhythm section, you need the bassist and the drummer in a solid pocket. You don't want your bassist very notey. Well, who's gonna play the guitar then, Carlos Baeva? I'm talking about live shows. So it's also the case that there's a certain energy with a band that's good that is different from programmed drums. I don't have any problem with programmed drums. I'm not like drum machines have no soul or whatever. I don't know if you've seen that bumper sticker before, but I don't believe in that. But I do believe that you need just a rock solid in the pocket rhythm section, or else everything else is kind of pointless. Well, I mean, then I'd need equipment to do that, right? I mean, I could like that. Yeah, I could do that, but I don't really. Well, I guess the bottom line is I'm not a particularly good. Well, sure. I mean, if the bass is going to be notey, then the guitar needs to be very minimalist and percussive or whatever. Thanks, for instance, Mom. Um, the point is, my guitar playing, depending on which song I'm playing, but you know, it can be a little busy. So I need a bassist who complements that by contrasting against it. Yeah, I'm not very good at programming drums, Carlos. And it's not that I'm bad at the process of programming drums. It's that I don't feel like I've got a good intuitive sense for exactly what drums should go someplace. And even less so do I have a sense of how to program in like transitions and stuff, slight changes that help it to move well. Well, like I said, if we get a gig ready band up to gig readiness, which just means find a drummer and a bassist, basically, then we'd play Madera, Merced, and Mariposa counties. Would be my notion. Those are all within an hour and a half distance from our house. You know, we could, if we wanted to stretch our legs, go book a gig in Fresno County. That's a little more than an hour and a half. Yeah, I mean, it's just if you want to do a good job of programming drums, it's its own production, right? It's like before you even begin recording your track, really, except for like a guide track or something, you have to spend a lot of time um, really working the programmed drums if you want to make them sound good in one of two ways. You know, you can make them sound like programmed drums, but have just really, really precisely cultivated tones that work with the rest of your shit and sound great and whatever. Or you can work with the dynamics a lot and try to make it sound like actual drums. Either of which is labor and time intensive and is not in my wheelhouse. It's just not my not my strength. So on that level, I think I'd prefer to just have a drummer. You know, when you can delegate tasks to specialists, it's generally not a bad idea to do so. You know, I wish I was like really rich, like had $100 million or whatever. Then I would hire professionals to come in and produce me, like figure out whoever engineered slash mixed slash mastered, generally produced, though maybe not officially entitled. Whoever produced Johnny, they did a great job. Yeah, I like to use Rory Vaden's basic priority filter for tasks. I've never heard of Rory Vaden's basic priority filter. And the thing is, I've I've sort of languished in this world of um, having a lot of really, I think, a lot for me. Can I eliminate the task? If not, can I automate it, delegate it, procrastinate it? um, right. Well, I have worked with, I didn't pay him, but I have worked with Rusmus before in that way, remotely. And he's a great drummer. And also, I think a better producer than I am. But, we live in a world now where first you have to succeed, then you get facilitated to succeed. Or you now you're hired for a while. They go, I want that sound or art. Now you're hired for a while. True, there's 1,000 people on Fiverr, for example, who will beat make. Yeah, I mean the thing is, the problem is for every 9,999 people who do a given thing, there's one who does it well enough for my standards, right? This is something that I kind of had to come to a rude awakening about at a certain point. Like, oh, I can't just be like, hey, why don't we collaborate? Random person who plays some instrument. They suck. They don't know what they're doing. How do I want to go about finding musicians you're interested in? You mean to musicians to play with me? In that case, I would be primarily looking for either, well, as a necessary but insufficient condition, localness and availability to practice frequently enough and availability to make gigs. That's a necessary but insufficient condition. As a necessary and sufficient condition, that plus um, either art instincts regarding their instrument that are better than mine, or a willingness to follow instructions. And with the drummer, willingness to follow instructions might not be enough because I'm not good enough to give instructions about that. I mean, what I am good enough to do is say, okay, so what beat do you think should go underneath this song? Okay, well, not that one. Can you try a different one? I can do that. Yeah, well, it's true. I mean, if you want drums that have like um somebody who's like working a double kick pedal or something, then that's a specialized kind of drumming style where you get like speed metal or whatever. I think it's silly, but that's just me. I think it's equivalently is the kick drum silliness equivalent to trap hi-hats. Just enough already. I mean, in the Talking to Famous People band before, I had I had my handpicked drummer who was fantastic. His name was Nick Janislani. And I mean, it still is Nick Janislani. Like I said, I a kid I had in my class when I was a middle school teacher at Gravid. I had him like as a seventh, eighth grader, sixth grader, whatever. All 3 years, I think. But I saw him perform one time at a talent show at the school or something. Maybe he and his brother Anthony played stuff too, like keyboards and stuff. They were in a band. They played maybe at lunch one time or something. I was like, oh my God. I had no idea Nick was such a fucking kick-ass drummer. And then, like maybe 5 years later or something, we were Facebook friends. I said, hey, I want you to play drums for my band. I'll pay you amount per practice and gig. And he was like, fuck y'all. You put out videos of your performances and make drummers fight over each other to apply to be your drummer? I mean, maybe, but I don't think there's going to be much of a fight. I could try that, but, there's a lot of supply of Eric. I'm not quite sure there's as much demand. Chris Chapman, what do you play? What instruments do you play? I was thinking about putting an ad in the Mariposa Gazette saying, songwriter, singer, couple with existing set of material seeks drummer and bassist for gigging. You can find examples of our music here. Talking to famous people or whatever. No, they can smoke my freezer weed. That's fine. They can smoke my freezer weed. But are drummers really searching there? Well, I'm not expecting if I put an ad in the Mariposa Gazette, I'm not expecting that ad to be read by drummers going, let's see who's looking for a drummer. I'll check the classified ads in the Mariposa Gazette. No, I'm not expecting that to happen. What I do realize, though, is that just about everybody in the county reads that fucking paper. So if you are a drummer who happens to be sitting around nothing to do, and you live in Mariposa, you're going to be reading the paper. So in that regard, I would think it's a good place to put a notice up that says, hey, I'm looking for a drummer and a bassist. I could also put it on a couple of community boards around town. There's one by the supermarket that people put up shit like room for rent or whatever. George, hello. Subsea, our golfer. Hey, bro. What is it, all old people there? Here in Mariposa? No, it's not all old people, but my point is, whoever lives in Mariposa reads the Mariposa Gazette because it's a small enough community and it's a weekly newspaper. So it's like, I don't want to even get the paper. Well, your buddy and you have a lot in common. You're both disabled. You mentally, maybe him physically. Um, yeah, I would say it's probably an older population in general. It's not like a retirement community or something. This neighborhood here is older, I guess, but our neighbors down the street, they're like, I don't know how old they are, but they've got kids who are like 1 and 3 years old, so they're pretty young. The neighbors right across the street, they've got little kids. They're not very old. Um, every time we go into town, because of when we get up, and in particular when Rachel gets ready and stuff, we often end up going to the store at the worst possible time, which is right when school lets out. If you go right around then, and like the supermarket is just stuffed to the brim full of high school students, middle school students, maybe some elementary school students. Walmart Bag is back. So glad to see you here, Walmart Bag. Care-dits. Are you saying that you care and you're a ditz? And I do know how to play the drums a little bit. I'm just shitty at it. I know how to play the drums. Like I could go like I could do like that, but you can't have a shitty drummer. Shitty drummer is everybody's worst nightmare. Namely, Eric on drums is everyone's worst nightmare. I'll be cooking with Eric in the kitchen, so feel free to throw culinary tips at me. I will. Try adding a little salt to your dish to boost the flavor profile. That's a tip for you there, Kevin. Kevin. Metallica did well. Well, they certainly did well. Yes, they became a very successful band, and then they got all douchey um, with copyright stuff. DDX098. It's the unicorn. She's here. She is an INTJ woman. The unicorn, the dark unicorn. She's here. She's INTJ, and she doesn't want any more bears. Okay, another tip for you, Kevin. When cooking, try applying a little bit of heat to your food to make it warmer. I think you're gonna find your mind is blown. Cooking tip 3. Don't put soap in your food. That's not for eating. Oh, Metallica did well with a not the best drummer. All right, well, I mean, in terms of like quality of drummer, right? You don't need somebody who's got the chops to do infinite different things, be super complicated. Well, black unicorns are rarer than white unicorns, so it's double rare. Most unicorns are white, but every once in a while, you'll get a black unicorn. Unicorns are already rare, a lot rarer than horses. Black unicorns, even rarer still. So, the, like what I'm looking for in a drummer, he doesn't have to be impressive. Like he doesn't have to draw your ear slash eye. He just has to be metronomically rock solid, which is a high standard. It's really a higher standard than any other kind of chops to be like a metronome in terms of your tempo and shit. Then you need a bass player whose first and foremost point of attention is locking in with the drummer. It sounds kind of easy. I'm not into metal bands really. Um, I guess I could probably point to a couple of metal-ish songs that I like, but as far as metal bands, um, I'm looking for a drummer who's about either 14% more handsome than I am, or if it's a chick, about 30% less pretty than Rachel. The Rush drummer is terrible. That's an example of a good drummer who's terrible. Rush has some very unnecessarily complicated drums. If you want to see a drummer be super slick and fancy without making that Rush mistake, like the Ringo Starr. I might like some Japanese metal bands. I do like that one video of that girl who plays the drums all super fast and crazy in Japan. He was dressed up in that character costume. Like this drummer's at the wrong gig, I think is what it's called. That's a great video. I love that video. Fucking chick just going off in this like stupid fucking kawaii cosplay thing. You're too pretty, big dog mofo. Wow. Yeah, I do. I mean, Ringo is a great example of discretion and instincts. He did not like it when Paul McCartney interfered with what he was doing on the drums. There was some beef there between Paul and Ringo because Paul wanted to, he was like, I've got ideas for what this should be and this should be and this should be. Just let Ringo do his job, Paul. Okay? Just let Ringo do his job. Don't let George do whatever he wants. He has no idea what he should be doing. But do let Ringo make his own decisions, please. How much are full top veneers these days? I need more than that, right? I either, because these teeth are all broken off. I need to get implants or dentures. I don't want to get dentures because I don't like the way it impacts how it, like, it impacts elocution too much. Obviously, missing teeth impacts elocution as well. It's something I need to get around to. It's just, I just haven't prioritized it. I should, but haven't. Well, having the best Beatles solo album is like, I don't know, choosing the best of the leftover Halloween candy that nobody wants. So George might have been a better bad than the other Beatles in their solo efforts, but critical to the Beatles being so great was him not having too much artistic voice in the whole equation. Because, he wanted to write shit like Blue Jay Way. Yeah, implants for the win, sure, but they're expensive. If I were to get my whole mouth implanted where every tooth is falling out, it would cost me like, $50,000 or something. I mean, I think George Harrison's best work was the Traveling Wilburys. Yeah, Cartney's corny on his own. Lennon depressing and mostly miss. Ringo pointless. but but I tell you who really pulled off the solo album thing? The members of Kiss. You probably don't recall this because you weren't alive and listening to Kiss in 1978 like I was. But after several of their albums came, they put out albums as Kiss. Then they they each put out a solo album. Ace Frehley, Gene Simmons. I think his name was Paul Starr or something. The drummer. It sounds weird, but I think it was. Well, Ace Frehley had the best song on all the solo albums, which is "Back in the New York Groove," or New York State of. No, I'm sorry. It was New York State of Mind. Is that what it is? Ace Frehley. He was the guitarist. I want a Neil Young, Keith Richards, Billy Joel super band. Why don't you throw in Robert Plant while you're at it? I remember, I don't know, maybe it was 20 years ago, maybe as long as 25 years ago. But The Who was playing a concert, and Pete Townsend was doing his trademark dumb thing that he does, which is this, this thing like this, where he goes, strumming the guitar, and he impaled his hand on the whammy bar. Like, serves you right. Serves you right for fucking around like that. I hate The Who. They're terrible. Greta Van Fleet, great singer and band. I don't know who that is exactly. Wasn't that the girl who had that global warming thing? Or no, wait, that was Greta Van Nuremberg trial or something. Well, they have not a terrible. They have a couple of not terrible songs, like you know, that deaf, dumb, and blind kid sure plays a mean pinball. Greta Von Nuremberg trials. Greta Van Fleet sounds like a young Robert Plant. I don't like Robert Plant, to be honest. Greta Thunberg says she's going to get into metal. Why would someone say that? Greta Van Susteren is a decent one-woman band. Never heard of that. I think a good band name would be Soleil Moonfry Pre-Op. Jim Morrison, Elvis Presley, Prince, Superband. I'm not sure Prince. Those three really don't fit together very well. Side Cheek, Jim Morrison, Alice, and Prince. First of all, they're all dead. What about pungent ring pieces? I'm not sure what a pungent ring piece is. I know what pungency is. I know what a ring is. And I know what a piece is. But I'm not sure um, what a pungent ring piece is. I think if we're going to put together a super band, what we want to do, first of all, put Keith Richards in Led Zeppelin and Robert Plant in the Rolling Stones, because the Rolling Stones are not good at all. And Led Zeppelin is mostly not good. Um, but if Led Zeppelin had had Keith Richards, I think they would have been quite good. A ring piece is your backdoor secret prisoner stash pouch. You mean your butthole? A pungent ring piece is your butthole? Oh. Well, I gotta say, look, there are plenty of good Stones songs. The Stones aren't terrible, but the problem is nobody was pushing the Stones to be more than a rock and roll band, you know? I personally am fond of Dead Flowers. I think it's a great Rolling Stones song. You can send me dead flowers on a morning. No, I hate Tool, Carlos Paeva. They are as their name suggests. Okay, well, I mean, there's no such things in good drums and bad music. Top three singers and top three guitarists. Um, I mean, I don't usually think of things like that at all. I I require it to be holistically good first before I even consider other kind of things like that. I wouldn't. It's like it's irrelevant if someone's a good guitarist or singer. What matters is if the song is brilliant and the production produces a great track. Those things matter. Hey, it's Bingleton Coochie Smith, my grandson. Robert Plant, Tupac, Bacon, Beethoven, super band. What would Beethoven play? I heard that song "Crash" by Dave Matthews a week ago and on the radio and thought of you. Okay, well you need all the things though, Carlos. They also have to be good songwriters and have good artistic instincts, and that's not the case with Tool at all. I mean, I am not unwilling to appreciate the quality of production, um, in say a mediocre track if it sounds really beautiful or something. But I obviously am not going to endure a bad track just because it's well produced. Well, that's because you're wrong, Carlos. Obviously. Two little sucks that. Beethoven would be the conductor while playing the harpsichord. I'm assuming this is Beethoven pre-deafness. Would you want a pet pig that gives you free bacon for money? Mr. Kartoffel asks. Uh, no. But I wouldn't mind bacon that gives me free money for pigs. You need Electric Six and McFly. Do I like violin? I mean, I like good music, you know? If something uses violin well, then I like it. Camper band Beethoven uses violin very well. What's a good band in your opinion? Well, like, I mean, Mother Mother is a good band. Um, Fucking, what are they called? What is that band called? That band that does you're just my type and a good song never dies. That band's quite good. Uh, like Johnny, if you call him a band, which when we saw him live, he certainly was. They were phenomenal. Corn is not good. Corn is terrible. No, not everything has to be 3 minutes long, but everything needs to be an execution of a clear vision. When things start getting aimless, that's when things start getting shitty. When things start lacking that NI clarity and center and identity that's distinct, both archetypally familiar and wholly new and distinct, you know? Well, I mean, from a from a songwriting perspective, right? They don't know what they're doing. They're not discovering wholly realized entities through some songwriting process. They're creating like Dave Matthews does or something. Five Finger Death Punch and Marvin Gaye. Imagine Dragons makes music to inspire your cousin to join the army. Hmm. Come up, get up, come on, get down with the sickness. I tell you what, guys, let's just all agree to do the following thing. Let's get retarded in here. Uh, this is such a great Black Eyed Peas song. I love it. All right, here you go. Everyone should listen to this song. I did listen to that Prodigy song, and I thought it was pretty good. Even I said, "Yeah, it's pretty good." Do I ever listen to spoken word? Uh, yeah, like if you call YouTube videos and other things I listen to, watch spoken word, but things that position themselves as music should not be spoken word. That's not music. Those are different things. Cream is so good. I agree. Leonard Skinner is your favorite band of all time? Clearly, it's subjective. Actually, Ziggy Rotten, you're incorrect. What comprises good art or music is not subjective, but only some individuals are attentionally equipped to be correct about it. So I'm not attentionally equipped to be very correct about, um, let's say, dance. You know, I don't know who the better dancer is. I can't. I'm not just not equipped attentionally to do that. I'm not equipped intentionally to be a good evaluator of, let's say, like TE design. You know, we 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 ended up getting a house that's got excellent TE, but not because I understood it. Well, Carlos Paiva, then, I get it. You're looking for stuff that links to the particularist, to you know your experience and stuff, and not linking to what universally is resonant as archetypally true while concurrently new. And that's okay. You don't have to prioritize that. Nobody needs to prioritize what I prioritize musically or whatever. But we do all of ourselves a disservice when we retreat to aesthetic relativism, because no artist makes art like that. No artist makes art saying every and any artistic decision is just as good as any other. Everybody who's trying to do stuff that's good acknowledges as they're making decisions that there are better and worse decisions they could make artistically. Well, the problem with well executed music is that it could be well executed bad music or it could be well executed good music. So, unfortunately, being well executed is not adequate. Remember that song, I Miss You Like the Deserts Miss the Rain? I don't. I think Lady Gaga is pretty good. Anton Roeder Morsing, have you seen me before? Yes, you have. Well, true. I mean, that's why, like, musicianship, execution, chops, skills like that are necessary but insufficient conditions to being good. I think that you've mistaken a necessary condition for a sufficient one. Any Spangle fans? Isn't music a mode of expression? Yeah, absolutely. And definitely, people can express themselves better or worse. But the thing is, what I understand, my understanding of music is very much a songwriting frame. So, and I understand that when I've successfully written a great song, if I can do that ever, then what I will have done is not written anything, but discovered something. That's just how it works. It sounds all magical or whatever, but that's the truth of the matter. If you construct stuff with your particularist understandings, it won't turn out good. And that's why I hate bands like Dave Matthews and Tool and stuff like that. Because they're constructing with their NE rather than discovering with their NI. That's what makes it bad. Another thing that'll make anything bad is art by committee. So, like, if you've got a band that everybody's responsible for their own thing and there's no visionary in it, they're 100% of the time going to suck. Like Kings of Leon. But ultimately, the most challenging thing about making good music is that every song, every track, depending on whether you're more writing or producing, um, it has to be successful, to be fully successful and good. It needs to be completely foreign to you in some way. Like, I have no idea how I quote unquote came up with that. I didn't somehow. I discovered it. You have to feel like somebody else must have written that song, because I don't know how I could have written it. I have no idea how it happened. And the one songwriting hack that universalizes, there's really only one, is that if you come up with something that sounds familiar, but you can't figure out where you've heard it before, keep that. Don't throw that away. That's the good part. I used to throw those things away because they sounded familiar. I thought, well, I don't want to copy somebody else. That's not how music works. I wasn't copying somebody else. The reason it sounded familiar is because it was true. It existed before I, channeled it into existence. And that's one of the beautiful things about music and songs is they have a complete holistic identity. They're perfect. They're a perfect equivalent for species, right? Like, um, they never change what they are fundamentally, but they can be expressed or interpreted in many different ways by many different people. Row, row, row your boat is always row, row, row your boat. But I can sing it faster, slower, blah, 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 blah. You can see variation within the set and the strict limits of the set. When you start changing the melody and rhythm, it's no longer the same song. And you can also see how there's a difficulty to clearly defining the bright line of the set boundary, because I could say row, row, row your boat, and it still would be recognizable as row, row your boat, even though the last note is a half step lower than it should be, right? So there's a difficulty in locking down in binary definitional terms those set boundaries, and yet they're nevertheless absolute. This is the beautiful magic of intuitive holistic truth. A song is an entity independent of whoever made it, and once manifest in the world and come to be known as a song, it occupies that identity space distinctly, uniquely, forever. It's crazy. It's wonderful. It explains so much about our world that we struggle with because we don't recognize the legitimacy of holistic objectivity because it's not reducible. It's still objective. So I get it. People don't like it when I tell them they're wrong in their taste of music. And yet I still will continue to say that because it's one of those areas where I'm particularly qualified to know correctly. There are plenty of areas where I'm not. I don't talk about those things usually. And the thing is, of course, there's no advantage for any person to listen to music they don't like, regardless of whether it's better than the music they do like to listen to. There's zero reason for anybody ever to do that. I'm not saying that just because you're wrong, you should change what you listen to. I knew this guy in AA who was a Dave Matthews Band groupie. He followed the Dave Matthews Band around. It's crazy. Fear inoculum is just the same boring thing all over. I don't think you are qualified here. Well, I know you don't. Where can I listen to your music, by the way? It must be amazing. My music is not amazing. I've made hundreds of songs, and I've got a decent playlist of good stuff. I have maybe, I don't think I really have anything amazing because I'm not very good at producing. I'm much better at, say, playing live a song I wrote, something like that. But what I will get for you is a link to host Eric's greatest hits. The thing is, it's a lot easier, of course, to be correct about what music is good than it is to make good music. So that's just unfortunately how it goes. But here you go. I tell you what I will do for you right now as a special treat, a special bonus treat. This live stream. I will play for you Whisper Shout. I've just been sad. I gave up long ago. Was sometimes mad, but that was all I'd ever know. Since that was all I'd been, I'd only mope and pout until I met a man named Ken who showed me how to whisper shout. I'm rich, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm rich, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the best. I've just been sad, I gave up long ago. Was sometimes mad, but that was all I'd ever know. Since that was all I'd been, I'd only mope and pout until I met a man. Oh, I think the Beatles are fantastic. I'm rich, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the best, I'm rich, I'm the best, I'm the greatest, I'm the greatest, I'm the best. Yeah, that's definitely better than Tool. It may not be great or whatever, you know. I'm not claiming that I attain the level of greatness in my own music that I demand of music I listen to, right? I'm not making that claim. I wish I were better, you know. But at least that song is fun. It's not really a song, right? That was something I made out of a sample from a Raw Channel video when we were talking, and Ken was making fun of this ESFP guy who was in there, and he was imitating him, going like, "I'm rich, I'm the best, I'm the greatest," and so that actually just sort of happened to fall together as I was putting some music under this like compiled clips video that I was putting, and then that just happened to land kind of like that, and I made that song like that. But anyway, that's pretty spectacular stuff. But you've got to appreciate that kind of thing, I guess. What kind of music do I like listening to? Well, here's a much more valuable playlist for me to share with you than my greatest hits playlist. It's called Chappy Tracks. And Chappy Tracks is the single best playlist anywhere in the world for music. And it's you will see exactly what kind of stuff I listen to. What I listen to is only things that are spectacular. Now, I will say that at the moment, this playlist may have on it a couple things that are like trial songs. I'm gonna take this off of it. I don't like it after all. Young Gravy Oops. It's a very catchy track, but I don't like the lyrics. I dislike them enough that I won't listen to it. Okay, so share. How do I get the here? This is fine. Copy. No, 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 no. God damn it. Okay. Copy link address. Here. Chappy Tracks. This is the best playlist you can find anywhere on the internet. It's got almost only incredibly good songs on it, incredibly good tracks. And so, if we wanted to sort of look at what's on Chappy Tracks together so you could see how to have good taste in music like me, then we'll go down the list of things that are on Chappy Tracks. Things at the top are most recently added. There's 175 tracks on here. LP, Strange, Boogie, Brockhampton, Baby No Money, Bills Paid on Time, Baby No Money, I'm a Prod Lentra, Black Eyed Peas, Let's Get Retarded, Millie B, M to the B. I like this. This probably won't stay on me. Probably won't stay on Chappy Tracks, but it's fun. I like this girl. Deb, Bass Down Low, Superorganism, Something for Your Mind, Johnny, Kendrick Lamar, King Kunta, Prof, Horse, PPAP. I love this song. PPAP is fantastic. Everything Must Go, Steely Dan, Deer Hoof, Super Duper Rescue Heads, Prof, Light Work, Deer Hoof, Super Mobilization. I'd probably take one of these Deer Hoofs off. I don't really, this band is kind of but they got at least one good track. This is my new favorite song right now, Think About Things. I love this song. Blondie, Heart of Glass, You Pour the Water, Cake, Gale. I love this song too. A, B, C, D, E, F, U. We were Kendrick Lamar, Humble, Katy Perry, Last Friday Night, Weezer, Pork and Beans. There's a little Weezer section. Island in the Sun, Hash Pipe. They Might Be Giants, Answer. Cara Bonito, Break. Cara Bonito, Flamingo. Weezer, all my favorite songs. Everything Hits at Once by Spoon. Edamame, I love this track. It's fantastic. Two Could Die Happy Man featuring Jane Tyrell. Bombs Over Baghdad. Dumb by Mazzy. I like this song a lot too. Borderline by Tame Impala. Criminal. And then this is a little long. It's a great track, but Byhold, Numb Little Bug, June, a little messed up. Taylor, Good in Bed. Marika Hackman, No Caffeine. Johnny, Boy Scout. The Beths, I'm Not Getting Excited. Laupy From the Start. This song I'm taking off this list. Gold. Goom. Prof Squad Goals. This is so fantastic, this track. I love it a lot. Stereogram, Walkie Talkie Man. Ting Ting's Great DJ. One of These Days by Camper and Beethoven. Restless by Kakmada Faka. Squeeze, Tempted, Fiona Apple. Beatles. Spill Tab with Johnny. Ace of Base, Katy Perry, Kesha, Daft Punk, Weezer, John Fagan, Cake, LCD Sound System, Elvis Costello, Squeeze, Fatboy Slim. This, of course, you can never get tired of listening to Eat, Sleep, Rave, Repeat. The Best, Expert in a Dying Field. I love this song. Underdog by Spoon. Lizzo, Truth Hurts, Wet Leg, Angelica. Beck, Paul McCartney, The Beatles, Cake. The Format, Time Bomb. Call Me Maybe, of course, which is a great track. Banana Split, Wet Leg, Wet Dream. Rip It Up, Belle and Sebastian, I Want the World to Stop. I like this song a lot too. Sex and Candy, The Voids, Lenny Kravitz. Nerd and Rihanna, Lemon. This is a great track. Right there. 50 Cent in the Club. Iggy Azalea, I Am the Strip Club. Azalea Banks, 212. Tipsy by Dominique Young Unique. If you're not familiar with Dominique Young Unique, check her out. She's awesome. Beach Bunny, Mitski, There Might Be Giants, Mother Mother, Maddie Noise, Decepticon by the Tigre, Superorganism, Everybody Wants to Be Famous, Backyard Boy, more Johnny. It's like gold dust. I love this song too, So Yo. Great, one of the great recorder songs of history. ODB, Dayglow, Haiku Hands. It's not about you. Shut up. It's not about me either. I am my sister's keeper. Chill. There's so much. This is a fun song. I like this song too. E-E-E-A-A-A-O-O. They Might Be Giants, Mother Mother, Fugazi, Martin Solveig and Dragonette, Hello, great track. Rocket Fuel by De La Soul. Der Commissar, fantastic. Penelope Scott's Rat, brilliant track. Dominique Young, Unique. Fuck that shit. I like this Five Nights at Freddy's song a lot too. I mean, all these tracks are great. I don't put any garbage on this playlist. Just like zero garbage. It's all fantastic. Selena Gomez, Bad Liar. Shockingly good song. You probably don't think of Selena Gomez as a particularly worthwhile artist, but that song's fantastic. Dayglow. And that's the whole list. So as you can see, greatest playlist anywhere in the world. You're welcome. ODB's and ESFP. Yeah. I'll have to check out It's Coming Down. You most listen to 60s and 70s music? Well, I don't have a lot of that on that playlist. Beverly Hills is debatable. I think I remember you saying you don't like that song. I like that song. Is there actual music there in that playlist? Yeah, of course. Yeah, I play instrument. I play guitar. I play bass. Um, I play a little drums, a little piano, but I don't have drums or a piano at the moment. I will share with you. Let's share. I will share with you the list I already shared earlier, which is Host Eric's Greatest Hits. This is my music. It's not as good as the music on Chappy Tracks because I'm not as good as the best songs of everybody, you know. But yeah, I think the Beatles are fantastic. I think the Beatles are the greatest rock band of all time. The Beatles have the maximum amount of like timeless tracks versus filler. They have the highest ratio of any band in history. The only bad Beatles album maybe is like, you know, the first one maybe or whatever, but really only the bad Beatles album is Let It Be. Let It Be has one good song on it. It tickles your inner lesbo heart that doesn't exist. Oh, you mean it's so hard to see? And as far as like 70s stuff, I'm quite a fan of Steely Dan actually, which is is somebody would say, Eric, that runs counter to everything you've been saying. Steely Dan is the exception that proves the rule. Normally, you can't accomplish any good shit with proggy shit, jazz stuff, you know, like speed metal, anything like that, right? But Steely Dan is the exception that proves the rule. They've got a lot of really timeless tracks. Earlier this morning, in fact, when I was peeing outside, I was singing Maxine to myself. Mexico City. Singing the bridge. It's like another world. Nice this year, they say. You'll be my senorita in jeans and pearls. But first, let's get off this highway. Off this highway. We'll move up to Manhattan and fill the place with friends. Drive to the coast and drive right back again. Someday we'll wake up, make love until then. That song is just this brilliant, like, jazz standard that he wrote in 1980 or whatever. It's on a Donald Fagen solo album. Absolute genius. But, you know, they've got a lot of really great songs. It's really Donald Fagen who has a lot of great songs, including on the new Steely Dan album, which is insane because the guy's like 70-something years old now. It just goes to show you how NTPs improve over time. They don't run out of creative gas. He's an INTP, I'm almost 100% sure of it. You read the liner notes on any Steely Dan album. It's like, okay, Donald Fagen, you need to put that NE tool away for a moment. Well, sure, we run out of gas all the time, KE, but we don't empty our creative load. So take somebody like Lou Reed, for example. He was pretty genius with Velvet Underground. He accomplished a few genius things solo, and then he didn't have any creative load left to shoot. He had shot it all. So, you know, the last good things we heard out of Lou Reed were Satellite of Love, Walk on the Wild Side. After that, it was just, he never could accomplish anything else. He'd shot his load, you know. NTPs don't work like that. They shoot their load temporarily and it grows back. Yes, well, there have been multiple discords for this channel, I think, but the bottom line is Discord's a horrible place. So, unsurprisingly, the Discord channels turned tough. Like, there's some Discord or group for talking to Spanish people where basically it's filled with nothing but people who hate Eric and talk about how horrible he is. So, welcome to my Discord. You know, I'm not interested in having any role in that. I gotta go. Fuck, it's 1:45. I gotta leave here in about 5 minutes, 7 minutes, because I gotta go down and wait for the internet guy to install the internet at the other house. So, glad I didn't forget about that. I'll just drive the little wilderness car down there. Hate Eric too. That's because it got a no typology. The Eric and Co. gossip server. My server is 100% positivity. Well, it doesn't matter to me because I don't go there. But I'll tell you, see you later, Captain Gentex. That's a great idea. Go listen to that Chappy Trucks playlist. You won't be disappointed. yeah, so we'll be wrapping it up. This one had a shelf life from the outset, you know. It was just I could only stream till about now. I do feel like I finally, at long last, have a poop about ready to come out of my butt. So, or I guess you would call it my pungent, what was it again? Pungent something ring piece? Oh, pungent ring piece. That's what it was. I have to let some poop out of my pungent ring piece. Do you want a pet cucumber that gives free tomatoes for money? No, I don't. In all the instances, I want the pet whatever to give me the money in exchange for something that's not worth anything. Like, I'd be happy to have a pet cucumber that gives me money in exchange for tomatoes. Because I don't like tomatoes. I would go the other way too. I don't like cucumbers either unless they're made into pickles. All right, so we're gonna poop together because channel communities that poop together stay together. It's well documented. That's right, my watch. No, wait, no, my watch is correct. The car clock is fast. Okay, so I'm fine. It's just a block away. I'll get there on time. Now, the thing is, I should have left a little more time to get ready, I guess, or something, because ideally I'd take, I don't know, like a ladder with me and start working on maybe clearing the rain gutters or something. Maybe I still can. I guess it doesn't take long to put the ladder in the little wilderness car. I might have to strap it on top of it. If I want to bring the big ladder. I could bring both the big and the medium ladder. And I could leave them over there because I'm going to be doing work over there. And I'm unlikely to do much of anything requiring a ladder around here anytime soon. I mean, I should clean our rain gutters too. But you know, you always feel more impetus to do work for a work project, I guess, than work for just your own maintenance stuff. Satellites fall down from the sky. Things like that drive me out of my mind. And for a little while, I like to watch things on TV. Satellite of love. Bum bum bum, satellite of love. Bum bum bum, satellite of love. Satellite of. Okay. So, I will take you with me for the initial part of this drive, getting ready to go over there, but as soon as we get to the top of the driveway, I'll end the stream. When the internet is installed over there, I may or may not briefly go live from the new house, give you a little tour of it or whatever. Or I may just come back here and then get Rachel and maybe we'll go over there and have a fire in the fireplace and have a fireside chat, you know, because that has an actual fireplace in it. It's actually like a wood burning stove, I guess. Would you want a pet Tiffany that gives you free $10 for every 200 strands of hair you give her? Yeah, as long as I don't have to pluck out all the strands of hair and I can just gather them. I don't know if it's really worth the labor there. $10 for gathering 200 hairs. Not really sure it's worth the labor. Hello, Kiara. B ladder and M ladder. Good afternoon, Jeremiah Fix. We are currently on the way out, so this stream is going to be ending very shortly because I have to go down the street and wait for internet install people. Not really what I want to do right now, but that's fine. I've got cigarettes. I've got glasses. I'll take those ladders and hope that I successfully get the ladders down there to the house. Not too much trouble. Or at least I'll take a ladder. I'm running short on time here, so I don't know if I want to engage in a huge operation of any sort, like strapping the ladder to the top of the little wilderness car. Rachel, my beautiful and precious angel, good morning. You are a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. It's delightful to see you awake here and learning, living, loving, and loving, and laughing. All those things are wonderful. All right, little wilderness car. Here's little wilderness car. What I need to remember, though, is that I need to get the key to the little wilderness car. There's no point in having a keyless little wilderness car. So, okay. I got the ladder on top of the car. Now I need to strap it on there so it doesn't come off. We're not going very far, obviously, but yeah, at least a couple of bungee cords. Okay, got some bungee cords here, and I'm going to do this. Like, where can I attach this to? I guess I have to go like this. Good. Now, we'll get one on this other side, like this. Push that like this. And we'll get another one of these and come all the way over here, Yeah. Put that there. Okay, now that we've gotten the front part strapped, let's get the back part strapped. Back part should be a little easier. We could probably just do this. And I'm going to get one more. Five minutes I got now. Not a particularly long time, but should be just enough. Alright, that's good enough for where we're going, just down the block. So now it's time for me to go get the key to the little wilderness car, or else it will not drive. Okay, we're almost good to go. And I'm gonna put these boots in here. And then I guess that's it. I guess we're good to go. All right, here we go. Talk to you later.